Hello, my name is Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I am an intuitive reader and I have a message for the fire signs. This is for Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. Okay, similar cards to the water reading. Those of you that watch multiple readings, you'll notice similar cards, but a little bit of a different meaning. So I'm going to save the best for last. I'm not going to show you yet. So we've got the Two of Wands going this way. We've got the Four of Cups. We have the Five of Wands. We have the Tower, and then I'll show you the last card later. So similar to the water reading, we've got the same kind of setup where you're turned away from the future. That's what this card represents. So you're not sitting there looking to how you want the future to be. You're doing a little too much, and by a little I mean a lot too much, focusing in on yourself and just worrying. You're getting so self-absorbed in the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions that are going on in your world that you're not looking outside at the bigger picture, and you're not even really setting yourself up for the future because of this limited perspective of looking in, looking down. She's staring at her own reflection. So this is a card of narcissism. And I'm not saying that's what's going on right now, but it's that idea of all you can see is yourself. All you can see is your thoughts. All you can see is your actions. And all you can see is your emotions. Now, those emotions are fueling a lot of your actions. And because it's coming from a place of self-involvement, these are going to be selfish looking actions. Okay, doing things far too fast, grabbing all things that you don't need to grab, worrying and feeling like you're fighting, like you have to fight to survive. That's what's going on with this card. Like you're in a battle for your life and you're just trying to get ahead, but it's not smooth sailing. It's kind of hard for you. And because of that, you hit the Tower. The Tower is kind of this whoosh, lightning crash that comes down, pure chaos. It has to do with structures breaking apart. And in this case, it's this whole way of looking at the world through so much self-involvement. This Tower shows up to show you, you know what, this isn't going to work anymore. This is not going to build the outcome that you need to build. This is not going to create the future that you need to be creating. And so your guides are literally just putting got the Monty Python thing where the 16 tons would fall down on a situation. It's putting a gate up. It's putting a roadblock in the way. It's just saying you have to stop. You need to stop because this chaos is this is not serving you. Okay, now so let's slow down for a second and look at this. So what got us into this problem was being too self-absorbed, not looking enough out at the future. What could have helped us in this situation is the energy of this card. So she's calmly sitting there, she's got her power, but she's looking to the future saying, this is exactly what I want to have happen. And more than that, she is completely confident that it is going to happen. So had we done this, we wouldn't be in this Tower situation. But this is not a bad thing, because once everything comes down, so it may be a nervous breakdown for some of you. It may just be like oh my God, wait a minute, I can't keep going like this. It may not be that dramatic, or it might be dramatic. After it, you get the Chariot, which is really great. Now, this is forward movement with purpose. This is forward movement with purpose according to your soul path, and your willpower. This is much more constructive than this blind charging ahead just because you don't feel good. This is actually directed and focused movement. And the good thing about this card is that it assures victory. So we have all of this stuff come up because you're just worried, self-involved, self-contained. The Tower comes up, all of that energy just kind of dissipates and calms down because it's reached a peak and it can't go anywhere else. But from that point where all the pieces fall apart, you pick up and you're like, you know what? I know exactly the direction I want to go, and this is the way I'm going to go. And it's a much calmer journey because you know that you're on the way to success. You know that you're on the way to doing what it is that you need to do. Was that a sentence? I hope that was a sentence. It has to do with really being proactive in the way that you're creating your future. The way you focus now, the focusing on yourself and worrying and those emotions that just don't help, that's just going to create your reality even more strongly than it is now. That is your reality. But if you can drop all of that and find your sense of purpose again, your sense of noble purpose, if that makes any sense, not your petty sense of, but your noble purpose of, this is what I'm here to do, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to show up in the world, and this is how I'm going to inspire others, then I think you're back on the right track. So I'm sorry this was a longer video. I know fire signs don't necessarily like to sit through the long things, but this was an important message. Because you guys are the doers, you're out in the world more than most, it's really important that you go out there with the right intention. So, hope this was helpful. If you have questions, please reach out below in the comments. I am available for readings if you ever feel like you might want one. Just check out my website below, and I'll see you next week.